Hi everybody, it's Kathy Champion and you're back with me in my craft room, and today you're probably wondering what kind of mess does she have here in front of me. Well, I'll tell you what kind of mess I have. I watched a video, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. A lot of you seen me do these little paper cards, and I've had one. Let me see if I can pull this out of my bin over here. That's if I don't fall out of my chair. Y'all seen me do these, right? Yeah, you know you have. If you've been following me at all, you know I love to take my paper scraps and make them into card fronts like that. Well, Lisa Crucio, who is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, did one that was different than anything I'd seen. And I want to bring that to you. But before I do, I want to say thank you, Lisa. I appreciate this tutorial because it gave me something else good to do with my scraps. Now, I have showed many of y'all my little 2-gallon bag of strips. And y'all know I save strips like crazy. I'm addicted to them, because I love making cards with them, because this is stuff that would normally go in the trash can and you can make something pretty. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You need some adhesive like this Stampin' Seal, and I've got the Stampin' Seal Plus. This is sold by Stampin' Up! And also, just for a public service announcement on my behalf, if you have been trying to order through my website, it is down because I am on a 3-month hiatus from Stampin' Up! Only because I felt the need to switch my team leader to another group of wonderful, absolutely fantastic team leaders. I have to wait 3 months, so I've kind of referred this to, and this was almost like a spiritual epiphany. You know, when Jesus died on the cross, he was in the tomb for 3 days. Well, I died out from my old team leader, and I have to wait 3 months before I can be resurrected back into Stampin' Up! And I know that I kind of made a joke about it, but really it's not, because I really feel like this was a God thing. And as much as I'm missing being out there for all of you that have been faithful and ordered from me, this is going to be a new lease for me. I am going to liquidate my store, and I think I told you this in my last video. I am going to liquidate my store, so watch out for an upcoming video where I'm going to show you some of the beautiful products I have. I do need to move everything out of my store and try to recoup a little bit of my money. I can only make cuts to a certain point, because at that point I will be losing money. And I figure, you know, at that point I'll either use the product myself, or I can, you know, sell it to y'all at a 25% discount. I'm still not making my full profit off of 25, but I am making enough to cover the shipping and handling and the cost of the product, and that's all I'm trying to do. But anyway, moving on, Lisa did her card, and I'm going to just grab a piece of one of my strips. Now, all my strips are cut to 1/4 of an inch. So you'll need to pull out your handy dandy paper trimmer so you can do this. But what you're going to do is you're just going to start off with a piece like this. Now, when she did hers, and I have a sample here, she used 3 colors. And this is a sample of what it might look like if you did it with just 3 colors. It looks much better if you use dynamic colors, and I didn't. I used a very matted finish, but I thought it was beautiful. I thought, how fun would it be to do this and just do some random paper? So I went into that little scrap bag that I showed you earlier, and I pulled out a whole handful, like you see right here, of different designs, patterns, some solid, some patterns, some stripes, some have gold foil, some of them are just solid copper, you know, blues, pinks, greens, yellows, polka dot, just a little bit of everything. So what I'm going to do before I get started is I'm going to put some of this Stampin' Seal Plus, and if you don't have that, you can use 2-sided tape. You know, we could do 2-sided tape and cover this a lot faster. So why don't we do that? Just, you know, kind of change it up. I have some 2-sided tape. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my 2-sided tape and I'm going to put it down just like that. And I am using that little silicone craft mat. And y'all know why I'm using that, right? So it don't stick to my work surface and I have a mess everywhere. And if I can find that little block that I used to, oh, there we go. Y'all, ever since I cleaned my craft room, I am still looking for my stuff. I am still looking for stuff that I have not found yet. Now, you don't have to have this completely even all over here. You can put it down, you know, willy-nilly. We can always go back and put a little bit of the stamp and seal if we need to. So you know, I don't never do anything even or straight. So, and I was doing this in a hurry, so that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But I'm just going to mash that down really good, and I'm going to take one of these little picky tools over here, and I'm going to lift it up after I get it sealed down. I guess I ought to take that bone folder and press this down really good, but I'm just being very casual with this because I'm thinking this is just a casual thing that you can do and use up some of them scraps. So I'm just going to peel this off. And as long as you got enough, I wouldn't suggest using liquid glue on this because it's going to dry out before you can get your pieces on there. So some type of sticky tape, some snail, two-sided tape, something like that will work for you. Now, when you pick this up, you're going to see you got some hangovers. Just pull them up on themselves, you know, just like that. Now, this is going to be a sticky mess. But it's going to be so worth it once you get this done. So let me see. We're going to take this piece and we're just going to drop it on here about like so. So just press that down, just like that. And have your little snips, little scissors or something where you can cut off just like this. Because we'll save this piece. We'll use that again. Now we're going to get another piece and find something that kind of contrasts with that. So let's try this one. And what you're going to need to do is butt this up right against there and just hammer it down and then cut it off even. You want to leave a little bit of the hangover. Not that kind of hangover, but you know what I mean. A little hangover. A little hangover is good. Like that. And then you're going to go up the other direction. So let's grab another piece and let's get something totally different. And like I said, this is a little piece of brown that this was paper that I made where I stamped. So let's put that down. And let's go ahead and cut that off even. Just like that. Now we've got our pattern pretty much laid out. Now if you were using 3 different colors of paper, like I did on that one I showed you earlier. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to randomly go in here and we're just going to grab paper and we're going to come back. I'm not even going to look what that one was. I'm just going to grab it and then we're going to start right here because this was the first one we put down. So we're going to go next to that one and let's go ahead and cut it. Try to cut these as straight as you can, but hey, if you don't get them straight, it's all right. So I'm going to grab another one, and I'm going to come right here. Oops. Make sure you get that all the way up next to that piece, and right up to the side of this piece before you commit to sticking it down. That will help you in the long run with this design. So once you get that up there, then we're going to come and grab another piece. This is a solid. Oh, look at that next to that brown. Woo! That's bright. That's okay, you know. And I have not done this, so I'm doing this on camera with y'all. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. It might be a hot mess before we finish it, but who knows. That's okay. We're playing, and we're having fun, and we're making something pretty. Hopefully it's going to be pretty. I can't say it's pretty yet because we do not know what this thing's going to look like. But you know what? Pretty colors, put them together. You just never know what you're going to get. Sort of like a box of chocolates, you know what I mean? Alright, so we're going to take this piece. Yes, folks, I am feeling as silly can be today, and I do not know why. But I am having fun. I went to this wonderful retreat, online retreat, Saturday, and I had a blast. And I think I'm still a little giddy from that. It was some Stampin' Up! Creators that all came together and offered this wonderful class. And I had the time of my life, and I learned something new. Oh, I want to show y'all something. Can I stop just for a minute and show you something? Here's one of the cards I learned how to make. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Wait till you see what it does. This card opens and opens, and look at that. Is that not gorgeous? I know. I love it. I had so much fun making that. Okay. I had to show y'all because I was so excited, and I got so many other cards that I got tutorials on that I learned how to do, and techniques and different things that was so much fun. Alright, so now we're going to come up with this one, and we're going to go right here, and we're going to just put that down and cut it. I like to cut these off. You don't have to. You can leave them hanging long. But to me, it just makes it so much easier if I do it as I go. Alright, I'm going to turn this one around so I can get it right up on this one. I'm going to put that down right there. And cut it. And then let's come over here and let's see which way we need to go. Let's go... We got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go back over. I want a different color there. I want something bright. How about this one? Because I don't have a clue how this is going to oop, 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 oop. That's okay. We got it. I do not know how this is going to turn out. You know what? I'm going to put my bifocals on because I want to make sure I'm getting up close as I can. So, you know, if you need your glasses when you're doing stuff like this, by all means, put them on. Hey, can't nobody see me? Oh, my goodness. I'm being so silly today, but I am just having a blast with this. Let's put this one right here. So, do y'all see what I'm doing? I am just coming around, putting this gorgeous paper down. Let's do this one right here. And I'm just going to keep working this paper all the way around. I think I'm going to do this one right here. I'll go ahead and cut some of these off that I left a little bit longer than I should have. And I'm probably going to have to pause y'all ladies for just a minute, and gentlemen, if there's any gentlemen out there watching. My husband just got home from work, and I usually like to go and greet him at the door and tell him I'm glad he's home. He actually had to go by the store and pick up some stuff for me, so it's all good, you know. If we're blessed with a good husband, thank God for him. And he is an excellent provider and an excellent man all the way around. So I'm blessed, and I know it. So let's go ahead and grab this one. Was this one piece? Yep. And you notice how our places are getting smaller and smaller? And that's exactly what's supposed to happen. They're going to get smaller as we're working this. So let me stop for just a moment, and we are going to continue putting these pieces down. And I'll tell you what I might do. I might go ahead and, can't take that one up. I might go ahead and finish putting these together. And when we come back, I'll have this done. But you get the pattern. You just keep laying your pieces down. I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, as you can see, I went ahead while we were out, while I was gone, I went ahead and stuck down excuse me, the rest of this, and this is what we have. But when you turn this over, you're going to see your overhang all the way around it. So all we're going to do now is we're going to come up using the card base, or this piece of cardstock as your guideline, and just come in and just cut using that card base as your guide. Now I would suggest to use a pair of scissors that are Teflon coated, or either an old pair of scissors that you have dedicated to adhesives only, because you will get adhesives on your scissors. These actually are Teflon, and they're serrated, so things just don't stick to these as much as they do a regular pair of scissors. So that's why I chose these. But if you don't have a special pair of Teflon scissors or something that is stick resistant, then I would make sure I use a pair that you're going to dedicate for adhesive cutting. And what I do is I just run along just like this and just cut that down just like that. Yeah, and you're going to have little pieces of cardstock that's going to fly every which way, but that's all right. I tried to let as much of it go on the silicone mat as possible, and the reason for that is because if this has adhesive on it, it will actually come loose off of this mat and not stick to your other surface. So I'm going to just throw this in the trash, and I'm just having to wipe that off just a tiny bit to get the excess off. And you'll see that that cleaned off really nice. It does have a little debris of stickiness on it, but that's okay. This is what we have. Is that not gorgeous? Now this was done just using random pieces of paper. You have a beautiful pattern. We can make a card out of this now. What I would do is I would cut this down. This is actually 5 1/4. So I would cut this down to 4 by 5, let's see, I say 5 1/4. Yeah, I would cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. It's already 5 1/4, so let's see if we have it at 4. We do. This is actually the perfect size for a card front. So I'm going to grab, I think I'm going to grab a piece of this old olive, and I am going to crease it down. It's already cut for an A2 size card, and I think I want it to go like this in the landscape. And I'm not too sure. I don't want to mat something else behind that. You know, a piece of black would be gorgeous back there. So let me grab a piece of black and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, we are back, and as you can see I have my black mat cut, and I cut this at 5 1/8 by 4 1/8. So I am going to mat this on here just like this, and then this is going to get matted on top of that, and as you can see it's going to give us that beautiful little 1/4 of an inch border all the way around, which is what we love. I went and pulled my Stitch So Sweetly dies. I love this die, and I'm going to use probably 2 of them because I want to make a window. And then I also want to use this and this. And I think what I want to do with this is I want to make this a happy birthday card. So we are actually going to sit this. Maybe I need the one larger. Let's see if that'd be too large. I usually weigh my dies out on my card just to kind of see what it's going to look like. And I wanted something big enough that this would fit in. That looks perfect. And then this little piece right here will fit inside of that. So what I want to do is I want this to be black, this one to be green, and this one to be white for our sentiment. So I want to grab a piece of black, and we're going to grab that black piece that we didn't use, and this looks like we might be able to get that off right there. So I'm going to lay this over, and I'm going to bring out my die machine, and let's see if we have a piece of the green. And I do. Let's see if that piece will fit on the green. And it does. And I love these dies because they're stitched. And there is something about a stitched die that is just so adorable on a card. So let me pull over my die machine. And we're just going to very simply cut these out. No rhyme or reason, just simple die cutting. So let's put this piece in. I'm going to try to cut them both at the same time. I think we can do that. So I'm going to make sure I pull this out so that I'm making sure that I'm getting everything centered and lined up like I want it. And then I'm going to lay this one right here, and I'm going to put this die on this side. And the reason for that is when you're cutting with your dies, you want to kind of evenly match up your distribution. So having one die on one side and one on the other will allow me to have that. So here we go. When I hear it click, and that's when I know that it has gone all the way through, and then I can start cranking it back toward me. So let's just pick that up, and that cut beautifully. Okay, now let's check this one, and this one did too. So the only thing we got to do now is our little white piece that we're going to actually use for our sentiment. So I'm going to lay these pieces over there because I might be able to use those again. And let me grab a scrap piece of white. Well, I couldn't seem to put my hands on a piece that like I was looking for, so this will do. Maybe, yeah, this will do. All right, let's go ahead and put this over. Whoops. So we got that piece cut, and then we need to find what sentiment we want to use. And we're going to need to find something that will fit in the perimeter of this piece right here. So I think what I want to do is I want to pop these up on some pop dots or some dimensionals. I think this would be so cute once we get this on here like we want it. So I'm going to turn that one over, and I'm going to put enough of these on here to balance out the weight. So I do like to balance the dimensionals so that I don't have pieces that are rocking. So let's put one there and one up here. And then I think I'm going to put 3 down the middle. So let's go here and here. Yeah, I think that might be enough. And we're going to pop that right there, just like so. And we're going to stamp this. So let me grab a stamp set, and I'll be right back. Alright folks, I'm back, and I found this one that said just a note, and this actually came from Flourishing Phrases, which is now a discontinued stamp set, but I still go back and pull some of my sentiments from older stamp sets because, I mean, let's face it, we got to use those stamps that we bought, right? And some of you may have this, and it'll give you an opportunity to pull in Greeny Apple, Pear Pizzazz. I think Greeny Apple's going to win over. So very gently, and that's what happens when you have a really juicy ink pad. I tap too hard. Now I am going to stamp off on this to make sure that I'm getting a good image. Ah, beautiful. And now I'm going to bring this over, and I am going to stamp it right about there. Beautiful. Just what I was looking for. So let's open this, close this ink back up. And now we can go ahead and set this down. But before we do that, let's go ahead and see if we can get our card together. And I'm going to use some liquid glue, I think, to glue these panels together. So the first thing I want to do is put down some some glue on the back of this. And I'm going to glue that down. And what I found out works for me is if I get it over to the corner edge, checking top and bottom, and hold that in place, and then I can usually get it right where I want it and drop it. Beautiful. Now I'm going to do the same thing again on this side. I'm going to put me some liquid glue down. And get that over about like that. And we're going to press that down. And I'm going to open this up and just use my bone folder just to make sure that's adhering really good to the front of that card. And there we go. Now we're ready to put this in the middle, and we want to pop this up as well. I love doing the pop-ups. I think it really makes a card come to life. And I just love the look of having pop-ups on the front. You know, it just makes it look rich. So I'm going to put a piece here. I'm going to balance it out, so I'm going to put a piece over here. And I'm going to use this piece. This was a little piece that was left. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm just going to cut off a tiny piece and put it like right here. And I think that will be sufficient. And I'm just going to pull this off like so. Alrighty. Now I'm going to go ahead and center this, and I'm just going to eyeball it. You know, no rocket science, just eyeball it and make sure that I get it as close to the center, up and down, and on both sides as possible. That looks good. What do y'all think? Now I'm going to pull off the backers off of this. And I'm going to put this down right into the center of this. Again, I'm just going to eyeball it and kind of drop it. Oh, look at those colors. And then this is going to go right on the top of that. Is that not gorgeous? I don't think I'm going to pop this up. I think I'm going to glue it directly down. I was, but we've already got a lot of dimension there. And you know, when you're making your cards, you make those calls. You think you're going to pop everything up. And then when you start to put it together, you realize that, hey, it looks great just like this. So there we go. Now for my inside, I want to matte this in black. So let me pull a piece of black. And we need to cut this down. I think I'm going to do black and green, and then maybe a white. I think that would be so pretty. So we know this needs to be at 4. Five and a quarter. 4 by 5 and a quarter, and that's going to go in right there. Just like that. I think I'm just going to use a little bit of this stamp and seal. And we'll put this down right about here. Just like that. And now we need a piece of the green. No, we got green. Okay, black I don't know. I think I want to do the green. Or maybe we'll just do green. Let's do green and stamp in black. That would be pretty. All right, I'm going to grab another piece of the green. And I thought I had a piece laying here, but of course, you know, if I do, it is definitely buried under something. So I am going to grab a piece of green, and I'm going to take this to my die and my die machine. Bring this up one more time. And I think Stampin' Up! Is going to have their new machine that's in the catalog that is not yet available due to COVID and manufacturing issues and things like that. I think they said it would be ready either August or September. I'm pretty sure by September. So if you've been waiting for that, they're going to have two sizes, the regular size and a little mini. And all of the stamps will tell you which side that you need for whatever. So, my suggestion, and that did not cut all the way through, and I know why. We're just going to let it drop right back in there, and we're going to run this through again. This time we're going to turn it just a little bit on the angle. Sometimes when you're dealing with the flat stamps, they need to be at a little bit of an angle to fully cut. So there we go. So cute. But if you are on a budget, as many of us are, my suggestion would be to get the full-size machine, because then you can cut any die, you can do any embossing folder, whereas if you use a if you buy the little one, you'll be limited. So with the bigger one, you can do both. I still want a piece of white inside there. So let's see, we use this one. Where is that other one at? So this one I think we're going to cut out of white. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been one of those days. Let's see if it will fit on this one. And it will. Yay! Alright, I think that just makes the card look very cohesive. So, let's get this die machine back up here. Bring this through. And this time we're going to use the little learning curve. We're going to put this in here at an angle. Just like that. And when you cut these at an angle, they always cut better. It's something about the pressure of the plate. And I think that's true for any die machine, no matter what brand you're using. Oh yeah, look how good that one cut. Beautiful. I love it when everything comes together. And this is definitely one of those days where this card's coming together beautifully, and I could not be happier. I think it's gorgeous. So, what I want to do with this is we're going to glue this one directly down. No popping up, no pomp and circumstance, just some glue. Yeah, I should have used this Stampin' Seal because my glue doesn't want to work, so let's go ahead and do this. And you know, if you have an ATG gun, you could also use that. Whatever adhesive that is your favorite. Oh, look at that. Is that not gorgeous? And now we're going to put this right here. And look how pretty that's going to look in there. Oh, wow. I love the stitching with this. It has such a quaint little vintage look when you use your scallops like that. So cute. Okay, so we want to stamp another sentiment on here. And I'm going to go right here, and I am going to look at this Flourishing Phrases. Let me go and see if I can find a different stamp set that I like better. And if I do, I'll come back and show you what it is. I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, I finally found, and I had to go and search through some of my May stamps to get the sentiment that I really wanted. With it just saying so simple on the front, just a note, I wanted something bold and beautiful on the inside. So I'm going to show you, but I wanted it to be just a bit of a surprise. I did use off of this All About You stamp set, and this has always been one of my favorite stamp sets when I want to send something kind of personal to a friend or a family member. You are beautiful. And I also stamped that in that beautiful Granny Apple Green, and I think that turned out gorgeous. So that is our card. I am going to zoom you in so you can see it up a little closer. I think by using scraps and putting this together, I think it turned out really pretty. And then you open it up and you have that beautiful sentiment on the inside. It is lovely. I just want to thank you so much for tuning in and watching today. I hope you've enjoyed watching me make this card as much as I did making it. It was so much fun, and I want to challenge you to go into your scraps and cut you some 1/4-inch strips and do what I did. I think this turned out beautiful. It's very colorful, and this entire piece was made out of scraps, and you just can't beat that. Now, I grant you that I did cut my card base and some of my mats out of full pieces, but other than that, this whole card is just a scrap card, and who would ever think it? It turned out gorgeous. Thank you so much once again for being a subscriber to my channel, for your positive and loving comments that I get every time I go to read. Y'all mean so much to me. Hang in there. Continue to watch. I will bring more and more beautiful projects to you, hopefully each day or at least 3 times a week. The end of this week, I'm not sure how my schedule is going to be. This will be Wednesday's video. And I'm not sure if I'll be recording anymore for Friday, not until maybe Monday of the following week. And the reason for that, my daughter is coming here to be with me, and we're going to do Made It Con, and it's being done virtual. And this is a conference that May has usually once a year. It was a little bit more further out, almost 2 years this time, and we are looking forward to it. So if you would pray for us for that event, and for everything to go smoothly. We are starting to get some of our kits are coming in through the mail, and I couldn't be more excited, not only to have my daughter here with me to craft with me, but to have the interactions of the other crafters as we sit together and make our projects, even though we're not together. Each person will be in their own home watching via some sort of video app, be it Zoom, YouTube, Facebook. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be, but we know this can be done because we had the event this past Saturday, and it was done via Facebook, and it worked beautifully, except my internet went out. So I hope that won't happen when Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But anyway, I love you all so very much. Have a blessed and beautiful day. And as I always say in closing, let everything you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy. Love you all until we craft again. Bye-bye.